All set with attendance? Yes. I'd entertain a motion to accept the September 14th, 2023 school board meeting minutes. Phoebe and Elaine, any errors or omissions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Here.
Yes.
Elaine?
Yes.
Holly? Yes. Tina?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Yes. So moved. And I entertain a motion to accept the resignation from Tina Collins, Section 504 Coordinator, effective January 1st, 2024, with regret. Motion by Phoebe, second by Chantel. Any comments? I do want to make one quick one. This paper doesn't leave the building. Please give that to Laura. Roll call, please.
Yep. Andrew?
Yes.
Lena?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Elaine?
Yes.
Dawn?
Yes.
Holly? Yes.
Yes. So moved. Any public comments? No public comments. Any school board member comments? Phoebe?
All right, tonight I'd just like to speak briefly about an issue that I've been seeing and has been raised by multiple community members. We're hearing a lot of negative feedback when it comes to the education as a profession. We're hearing all these different things from all over the country, all over the world. This is not something that is unique specifically to our area. What I would like to talk about is the good things that are happening too. While it's important to look at things that are bad so that we can work on fixing them and correcting anything that would be detrimental to anyone, it's also important that we appreciate our teachers, that we look at them and we understand that they have one of the toughest jobs in the world. They shape every other profession. They help inspire kids. They tell kids, this is not your best potential, you can do better, and those kids do better because of it. We have teachers who tell kids, that is an amazing drawing, here's how you can improve it, and that kid later becomes a graphic designer, they become an artist, they become someone who's confident in themselves. So next time, before we stop and we think, hey, I'm gonna say this negative comment about a teacher, maybe stop and think about what kind of ramifications that has on the teacher. How does your kid view that teacher now? So when they give them a compliment, are they going to believe them? So I think it's very important that we look at teachers with respect because they deserve it. Thank you.
Well put, Phoebe. Anyone else? Seeing none. Superintendent's report.
Good evening. Over the past 2 weeks, I attended a Zoom meeting to discuss the EASE grant. Just a reminder, this grant is $110,000 a year for the next 5 years to help with counseling access for students. We have an MOA/contract with Kennebec Behavioral, and they've hired a counselor to work with students at the elementary and primary school. We've had over 80 parent referrals for them to have access to this counselor. Met with Crystal Flag, Ken Vining, and Chris Hollingsworth to discuss and plan on finishing up the ESSER 2 funds. I also attended the superintendent's conference put on by Drummond Woodson Law Firm, in which they gave information on the annual legislative update from the state and what some of the new laws and changes mean to school districts. Got to play golf after school with and against Spruce Mountain's golf team. It's become a tradition and a fun way to connect with our kids. Also, this past week, I had a breakfast meeting with Crystal Flagg and the town managers of Livermore Falls and Jay to keep that open dialogue between the towns and the school district. And today I met with the co-presidents of the Teachers Association to discuss district matters.
Questions or comments? Administrative reports. Michael.
Good evening. So I'd like to open with enrollment. Last we met, we were at 352 students. Currently, we are at 360. So we have an increase of 8. And then we'll see that kind of steadily go up. Usually we see a little increase right around mid-October, early November, and then we'll kind of go from there. Our building this week and then finish up next week started our NUIAs. So that's where they're doing their kind of online reading and math assessment. All the students, as they've been in and out of the classrooms, doing phenomenal with it. So we're going to keep at it, and I'm looking forward to sitting down and looking at the scores and kind of making some plans going forward. Our second grade, during Farmington Fair Week, participated in their agricultural day, so they went over for a field trip. And from what I hear from the students and from the staff, it was a wonderful time. It was a little rainy, but they managed, and they really enjoyed it. Our first grade, this past on Monday, or Tuesday actually, sorry, went to Ricker Hill for a field trip. That was loved by everyone. In our building, we have just wrapped up teaching all of our common areas for our PBIS expectations. So students can start earning Phoenix feathers for different areas of the building, for kind of showing that they're being safe, responsible, respectful, and kind. So that's been great. We've had a few drawings for our Phoenix Feather Winners of the Week, which students being recognized for that. Coming up in October, we will be having our first kind of Phoenix Assembly. We're going to be inviting a few parents in, try to get that kind of parent involvement back up again. Speaking of parent involvement, we have in our TK program tomorrow, we're going to have an Apple Day. So they spent the past 20 days of school doing different Apple activities. Today they were in there making applesauce together. They made apple Play-Doh. So they're going to invite parents in tomorrow to do a bunch of different centers with their students. So they're looking forward to that. Next week, we are starting a kindness challenge. So it's going to be a 5-week kindness challenge for the primary school. October, our focus is for kindness. So every week, what will happen is when I do my weekly videos for the families, I'm going to give each student a challenge that they have to complete that week, but it's going to be a kindness challenge they have to do at home. So it might be like they have to pick up a chore, maybe help cook a meal, and they're going to be able to have a little checklist, check it off, and then kind of be celebrated at school. And then kind of like to end today with, we have a school pantry report. I think I talked about the pantry and how many meals we put out last year. So I'd like to pass that around real quick and then speak about it.
Thank you.
So as you look at the school pantry report, so this was something new that we got this past year. We didn't see this the first year that I was as administrator, and Penny Gould was the one that kind of, she does the ins and outs of that operation there. She didn't see one of these like this either, so I don't know if this is something new they started kind of after COVID, but if you go through it, you look at during last school year, we distributed over 26,000 pounds of food just through our pantry, which is, they correlate it to almost 22,000 meals that they sent out. And I guess I didn't realize it was that much, but I see kids every Friday run on the bus with their bags full of food, but I just you don't realize what 26,000 pounds of food looks like. And we get delivery every month, but I'd like to just give a kind of a huge shout out to Penny Gould for, like I said, that's one area that she came to me on the day one when I got hired and asked if, she's like, I don't want to lose this pantry, can I step in and take over for her? I said, please do. So she's run that. I have a handful of teachers that help distribute bags. We have some parent volunteers that come in and bag up meals every week. So it's been phenomenal what we have going forward. And if you also look at that there, that they said that we had a 5% increase last year from the previous year, and I expect that same thing this year, kind of going forward. But just another one of those positive stories that we talk about that we like to share, that this is just something extra that my staff does, and it's phenomenal.
Any questions or comments? Elaine?
I think it's so important to recognize all the extras that our staff does.
Yep.
In terms, this is food, this isn't education, but we all know what part that plays. And including families with your kindness goals
Yep.
for the month of October and things that they can do at home. Another way to get parents involved. Parents, I hear it many times, well, I have no idea what the school's doing. Well, we have a lot of things that parents can do with kids, and it's out there. We just need to be aware of it. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Pat?
Good evening. So like Michael, when we start the school year, we usually take the first 3 weeks and try to build that community in the classroom, set expectations about being respectful, responsible, and safe, and kind. It also gives us time to do some of our assessments to figure out where kids are after the long summer. So now that we've done that, we're moving into the academics last week and this week, full bore, so that the kids can see what life is like at the elementary school, especially for our new third graders. Like the second grade, fourth grade went to Ag Day at Farmington Fair, had a blast. Got a little wet, but they all survived. Really enjoyed it, as part of their outdoor education that they like to do. To go along with that, Emma DePompo is our greenhouse person. So she's going to start next week a composting unit with Healthy Living with the third grade class. So during lunch, she's going to have a garbage can in here, and the kids are going to learn what can compost, what can't compost, and so they're going to be able to use whatever waste they have here to begin composting next week to get ready for the spring and when we start to plant seeds, and so the kids are excited about that. We'll see the greenhouse tonight, hopefully if we have a little more light. Also the playground, I have to thank Wayne and Brian because they put up all new hoops out there, tetherball. We were supposed to have a gaga ball pit, which is it's almost like dodgeball, but knees below, where the kids hit it underneath. And we actually, in the corner, they sent us the wrong one. They would send us a portable one for indoors, but so generously decided that we could keep that one. So Jane now has a free gaga ball pit for the kids. For indoors, I just am still waiting for the one for outdoors, so hopefully that we'll get that sooner than later. Also put in new wood chips, sand. I was talking to the kids about tetherball because a lot of them had never seen that before. And one little girl was like, oh, it's so much fun, but it just keeps hitting me in the face. And so I was like, well, you got to kind of use your hands to block, but she's like, it's really fun. And I'm like, oh, I just hope I don't get a phone call like, why does my kid keep getting hit in the face? Because they just don't know and they haven't figured out how to wrap it yet and winning. So it's a new game for them, excited. We do have another tetherball pole, so now that the kids love it, I'm going to get that one fixed up and ready to go. like I was telling Scott today at admin meeting, I got one of those emails where they say congratulations, but I don't really feel like we won anything. So our school was chosen to do NAEP, which is the National Assessment of Education Progress. So we'll get to do that in February. So fourth grade are the lucky winners. They'll choose randomly 50 kids to do the math and then 50 kids to do the reading. Band and chorus. We have 34 fifth graders signed up for band.
Wow.
We have 22 fourth graders for chorus and 15 fifth graders for chorus. So band is up and going and chorus shortly to follow. Next week, we will start the main through year, which is the old NAWIA testing. So next week, we'll do one of the sections. The follow, we'll do the next section, and then that'll give me 2 weeks to do the makeups, because it ends at the end of October, the last Friday in October. School numbers, I think the last time I came, we had 300 kids, and now we're at 295. Questions?
Any questions, comments? Phoebe?
I got to see the playground before, and I got to see the progress so far afterwards, and it looks so much better. They really have done an excellent job, so they have to be commended.
Ken has gotten me everything I've asked, and Brian and Wayne have worked hard to upgrade the backboards and put all the nets up and get the tetherball and all of that good stuff. And also Wayne and Brian were able to secure the greenhouses to the foundation like requirement. So they've been busy at the elementary.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Yep.
Chris?
All right, good evening. I'm going to start with the enrollment again. At the beginning of the year, we were at 334. We're down 5 from the beginning of the year. We have 70 students right now participating in fall sports and 20 participating in the Lego League. So that's almost 1/3 of our population doing after-school activities, which is really cool. On September 13th, Officer Sage gave a presentation to the student body about NetSmarts, an online safety program brought up by the Maine State Police Department. On Thursday, September 21st, I was invited to be a guest speaker at the Holocaust and Human Rights Center's annual awards banquet in Falmouth. I was asked to speak about the incidences of swastikas, racial language, and other incidents that happened last year at the middle and high school, and how we responded to the incidences, how restorative practices and education came together and has made a difference and helped deter any more of those events. I shared a copy of my speech with all you, so you can see what I said. Also, I did forget to bring the night program so you could see how elaborate of an event it was. I do have it at the middle school if you want to stop by and take a look at it. It was really nice to know that all the hard work that we've done is being recognized and seen by other organizations and a lot of other schools around the state. Sometimes we don't always see the good stuff when we're right down in the trenches and doing that hard work. We don't always hear about all that positive stuff that we're doing. On September 27th, we had a presentation called Speak Up, and that presentation focused on bullying and biased behaviors. It taught students about the 4 roles of bullying: the aggressor, the target, the bystander, and the ally. They learned how each role plays in the bullying, and they also were taught ways to speak up against it and how they should respond to it. October 2nd and 3rd, we're taking the main through assessments. October 3rd, we're going to have our first Student of the Month Phoenix Award Assembly. And on October 9th, Mr. Plord and myself partner up to bring the Theater of Monmouth to the high school for the middle school and the high school students to see Henry IV. They're going to come in, give a 2-hour, it'll be a 90-minute play, 15-minute question and answer with the actors. October 10th and 11th, our 7th grade students will be attending Camp Kiev in the Leadership School for their overnight trip. Out of the 127 students in 7th grade, we had 110 that have signed up for it, so which is really cool. And then in October, we're going to be running our fall fundraiser, so all the deliveries will be in before Christmas. So that's all I got.
Questions or comments? Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Outstanding, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I just salute the staff for all their hard work,
Yeah.
the difference that it's made, and the difference we hope to see it make in the future as we pass this forward.
And I told them all on Friday, on my Friday update, the day after I did it, and it wasn't them that did it all. I mean, I didn't do anything. I just get to be the face, you know. But they've put in so much hard work and really care about what's going on. It's amazing to see them come together. So,
It's gonna reap benefits more than we'll ever be able
Yep.
to measure.
yeah, and hopefully we continue with it.
Yep.
So,
Thank
thank you.
Moving on, I have nothing. Phoebe, would you bring us up to date on the Marshall and Lewis Brown Scholarship? Well, we know, but
Okay, so we met for the scholarship meeting. We all met together to discuss the Marsha and Lewis Brown Alumni Scholarship. This year, the applicants made it easy for us because the scholarship allows for 2 awards to be given in the amount of $1,000 each. Now, we only had 2 applicants, and they had all met the conditions. So we were fortunate in that way. However, next year, I would like to see more applicants. That way, we can review our alumni further. Now, after we reviewed the applications, they were chosen by us. The first one was Matthew Finlayson, I'm butchering this name, studying sports management at Dean College. And then we have Paris House studying elementary education at the University of Maine at Farmington. So we do want to congratulate both Matthew and Paris. Now, I also want to thank Laura White, of course, for sending out the letters to the applicants to notify them of our decision. So great job to everybody.
thank you, Phoebe. Okay, on to old business. I'd entertain a motion to enter into executive session to discuss contract negotiations pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056D. Motion by Robin, seconded by Chantel. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Alina,
Yes.
Elaine,
Yes.
Dawn. Yes. Polly. Yes. Phoebe. Yes. Tina,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Annabelle. Yes. Bob.
Yes. Directors Collective Bargaining Agreement for July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2027. Elaine and Tina, any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
Dee Dee? Yes. Tina?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Chantel? Yes. Holly? Yes. Ron?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes, so moved. Under new business, I move that the vote entitled "Vote to Adopt the Teamsters Cafeteria Plan" be approved in form presented to this meeting, and that the secretary file an attested copy of said vote with the minutes of this meeting. We have a second. Second, Chantel. Any questions on this? Hope you had a chance to look at it. It's not the cafeteria that we eat at, it's an insurance plan.
And the reason we're voting on this is because the Teamsters, when we did the negotiations, switched health care plans. And by law, under the IRS rules, they have to have a cafeteria plan set up for them because their enrollment times are different than the Anthem enrollment times. So it's really to help us because we could lose our tax-free status when it comes to this. So we had to add this into place.
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Tina?
Yes.
Chantel? Yes. Andrew?
Yes.
Dee Dee? Yes. Holly? Yes. Ron?
Yes.
Lena?
Yes.
Elaine?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes. So moved. You have your co-curricular, other appointments, retirements, resignations. Also in your packet, you have 4 students who would like to be student reps. We would have met with them tonight in executive session, but they have homecoming, so we'll let them go this time. So I'm, right now, I've been working on a list of questions to ask them in executives. Oh, I've got, oh, I've got 2 of 1. That's why I counted 4. 3, sorry. I've been working on a set of questions. If anyone has a question that they'd like to ask, send that to me, and I'll include that in. Basically, I think if we each go through, ask a question, and then what we have to do is say, we recommend to the student body that you vote on these. We can say 0, 1, 2, or 3. We don't have to, we're not picking the 2 we necessarily want unless there's someone that really doesn't fit the bill. And then it goes to the student body votes, and then they would come back to us. Any questions? Yes.
I think it's great that we have 3.
Yeah, this is the first time.
This is the first time we've had more than we have 2 positions. This is wonderful. I like to see our kids so engaged and anxious. It's great.
All set? Okay, our next board meeting is October 12th at the primary school. We'll get our tour there. October 26th at the high school, and then we'll be pretty much at the high school from that point on. Again, a reminder, the letter, don't take that home, pass it in. And we have a tour tonight. Patrick's just giddy, ready to show us. I entertain a motion to adjourn. Chantel and Elaine. Roll call. Yes. So moved.